Hello, my name is John Davis, and I am a doctoral student of history at Liberty University. In this video, I will be discussing John Moses Browning and his role as an entrepreneur in the story of postbellum America. Postbellum America referring to the period after the American Civil War. While I had planned a somewhat different forum for this discussion, events have forced me to record this presentation from the road, and the supporting material I had planned to employ, including several physical examples of John Moses Browning's engineering genius, are not available. John Moses Browning was born January 21st, 1855 in Ogden, Utah, to Mormon parents Jonathan and Elizabeth Browning. Jonathan Browning was originally from Tennessee and had opened a successful gun repair shop in Nauvoo, Illinois, where he became familiar with the Latter-day Saints, also known as Mormons. Following a conflict between the Mormons and non-Mormons in Illinois, during which Mormon founder Joseph Smith and his brother Hiram were both killed in 1844, the Mormons began a westward exodus in 1846. Many of them armed with rifles built or repaired by Jonathan Browning. Jonathan had converted to the Mormon faith and followed, establishing a gun shop in Ogden, Utah in 1852, thereby exposing young John to the trade at an early age. The Gale Encyclopedia of World Biography, 2nd edition, tells how John Moses, quote, showed interest in his father's work and enjoyed sitting in the shop watching him work when John Browning was 6. He made himself a makeshift workbench out of a box and spent hours tinkering with scraps of metal, pretending to work as a gunsmith. By all accounts, he was a rather lackluster student, only sporadically attending school until the age of 15, and even then he primarily focused on those things he felt he needed to know to successfully work in the gun business. Despite this, before he had reached his teen years, John Moses had successfully built his own rifle and used it to hunt prairie hens, but upon showing the rifle to his father, he was gently chastised and told he should have taken more time with his design, a lesson which would stick to him throughout his life. In 1879, John Moses had married and received the first of his 128 firearms patents. This one for a single-shot rifle he and his brother produced out of their shop in Ogden, and it was one of these rifles that would bring him to the attention of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company in 1883. During an 1883 meeting between John Moses and Winchester Vice President T.G. Bennett, Oliver Winchester's son-in-law, John Moses, after conferring with his brother and partner Matt, agreed to sell the rights to produce their rifle to Winchester, as well as giving them the first opportunity at a repeating rifle design John had told Bennett of. The agreed purchase price for the initial rifle was $8,000. This initial bargain was the beginning of a 15-year relationship between the Brownings and Winchester, which would have proved profitable for both parties and allow John Moses to shift his focus from manufacturing to his true passion, weapons design. That single-shot rifle became the Winchester Model 1885, which would continue to be produced in numerous calibers for 35 years. And the repeating rifle design John Moses had mentioned, and for which he received a patent in 1884, became the Winchester Model 1886. After Bennett agreed to pay an undisclosed sum believed to be approximately $50,000, an amazing sum for the time, but which resulted in a rifle which remained in production for an astounding 71 years. It was during the Browning relationship with Winchester that he would take notice of the effect of muzzle blast from a competitor's rifle during an 1889 match at the Ogden Rifle Club. He came to the realization that if the excess gases could be harnessed, they could enable him to create an automatic firearm or even a fully automatic weapon. John Moses worked on his concept and contacted Colt, who had more of a military focus than Winchester, to pitch his idea for a gas-operated machine gun. Despite an initially cold reception, Navy requirements resulted in a request for a trial and the first production of a Browning design machine gun, which became the Colt Model 1895, resulted. During his time working with Colt, John Moses would also develop several semi-automatic handguns, including the famous and long-serving Colt Model 1911 family of designs, which he developed in response to Army requirements for a new sidearm. During World War I, John Moses Browning would continue to design and perfect military small arms designs based on his ideas and military requirements, to include the Browning automatic rifle, and numerous machine gun designs, to include developing the 50 caliber Browning machine gun Model M2 in 1918, which still continues largely in the same form in service today. While the majority of these designs arrived too late to see service during the First World War, they would see great service during the Second World War and beyond. During his relationship with Colt, John Moses Browning had met Hart Berg of the new Belgium arms manufacturer Fabrique Nationale at the Colt factory in 1897, and sent back a .32 caliber pistol design with him, beginning a long relationship between Browning and FN. Unlike Winchester and Colt, FN marketed John Moses' designs under the Browning name to include later designs like the Browning High Power, considered by many to be the pinnacle of his handgun designs. Following World War I, John Moses Browning would continue to travel back and forth between Ogden, Utah and Liege, Belgium to continue work on his designs, including the previously mentioned Browning High Power, for which he applied for a patent on 28 June 1923 from Ogden, which was finally granted on 22 February 1927. The Browning High Power remained in production by FN until FN Herstal announced they would cease production in favor of newer designs in February of 2018. On 26 November 1926, John Moses Browning passed away in just the way he probably would have preferred. He died in the Fabrique Nationale factory, working on the design for his superposed shotgun, his final and another remarkably long-lived weapons design. John Moses Browning epitomized the postbellum American spirit of entrepreneurship, seeing needs and possibilities and taking advantage of the opportunities presented to fulfill the next requirement in his chosen field, often before the end user recognized it himself. Thank you.